My name is Jimmy Purdy, shop owner, master tech, transmission builder, and the host of the Gearbox Podcast. Here I talk with new and seasoned shop owners, as well as industry professionals about day-to-day operations within their own shops and all the failures and successes that come along the way. From what grinds your gears to having to shift gears in the automotive industry, this is the Gearbox Podcast. Back to the Gearbox. How's it feel to be back again?
Man,
hey, third time's a charm?
I won't say third time.
I got it before you can say it.
Okay.
I saw it coming out of your face.
So that means I must be doing something good, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you show up. That's all that's important. You're a day late, but that's okay.
You know, not proud of it, but
I felt like we talked last week about Monday, but that's okay.
You know what?
I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna cry over spilt milk.
You know what? Agree to disagree.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that.
You know, that's a big one in the industry, though, isn't it? Everybody agrees to disagree.
Yeah.
Is there a right way to skin a cat? There's so many ways to skin a cat. Right? Like, what's the right way? Hey, we got to talk about that Ford. What's up with that F-150?
Well, believe it or not, I think we might have found the issue.
You found it? So this is the one with the injectors, right? Or the PCM? Remember we talked about it last time?
Right. So
this is the headache one. You did... What did we do? You did all the coils? You did all the injectors or something like that?
Well, I mean, it's got a coil pack. So we did the coil pack. Everything in the ignition system.
The modular V6 4.2.
Yes.
Garbage Ford.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did all the ignition system. And no results. And finally, we did the swapperoo on the injectors. Oh, dang. Sounds good.
Sorry, didn't mean to distract you. This is the only way I can get you here.
So we did the swapperoo in the injectors. And lo and behold, man, getting me goosebumps.
You like this stuff, huh?
Good stuff. Back at it again.
It helps a little bit. Loosen you up a little bit. You're so high strung, you know? I can hear it in your voice.
I need to calm down. So, did that. And lo and behold, the misfires moved with the injectors. I was like, okay, there's injectors. So, we did the injectors and still the same issue. Well, that's when you took over, and I don't know what you did to that. You made it worse.
No.
So.
Now, we're gonna take that back a minute here. That's what I get for trying to help.
That's what always happens.
Show up on a Friday at 4:00 when it's raining with a V6 4.2 Ford. Nevertheless, it being owned by a company that I'm not super fond of, but I'm gonna fix the vehicle. I don't care who the person is. We're here to fix the vehicle, and I put my pride away. I put my pride away for you, and I was like, you know what?
You did. Give you props for that. You did.
And what happens to me? I end up in the back of a cop car. One thing led to another, and I'm sitting in the back of a PD car on the side of the 13th Street Bridge. Yay me.
Oh, man.
Shall I elaborate? Is that a cliffhanger there? Does that get people interested in what I'm talking about?
Man. Better you than me, though. So.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, anyhow, so we went back at it today. Just happened to look down. Actually, one of my other guys actually caught that. So we had replaced the belt already once before because the edges of the belt was starting to come apart. I was like, and I noticed that it was one groove over. So I was like, that's weird. Okay, we'll replace the belt. Let it be. So that was a few weeks ago. So once again, he happened to be looking down. I was like, hey, the belt's coming off again. So I looked down, and sure enough, it was coming off the crank. I was like, wait a minute here. It's not right. So we started looking into it, and lo and behold, bolt's missing from the crank. So the pulley starting to walk out. And that's the reason why it quit, because it didn't pick up the crank signal.
Yeah, that makes sense. I knew it had to be something like that.
So Actually, for some reason the bolt broke off. I mean,
It broke off in the crank.
So we luckily that other piece was able to come out easily.
Okay.
So I was like,
yeah, it would have been a fun one to extract.
My God, yeah. So luckily, we were able to locate a bolt, put it in, tighten it up, start it right up, and I was like, all right, at least it starts. Now the main.
Well, the misfire is probably because the crank trigger was off, right? So it's probably all the same thing.
Yep.
So the importance of inspections and making sure that stuff's written down. I feel like we got to dive into that too for the free diagnostic crowd out there, and the free. I just tell me what's wrong with it. I'll go fix it myself. And I think that encapsulates how looking at every single component of the vehicle is important, isn't it? Like something as small as the belt just being a little tattered. Well, the belt looks like a little worn, but what would that have anything to do with a misfire? You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't have thought of anything.
Right. But if it's written down and documented as you're moving through your diagnostic process, hey, the belt, hey, it's a crank trigger, and let's look at this a little bit deeper here. Let's see what's going on with this, I mean, hindsight's always easy to look at it like that.
Yeah, it is.
But, I mean, for me, it wasn't a fun day.
No, it wasn't. I feel horrible about it. I feel
no,
like
you
I
don't.
just.
You
I feel. Yeah, I do.
No,
I feel like I just dropped it off on you.
No,
here you go.
I feel like when I called you, you hung up and you started laughing.
I ain't gonna lie.
There's a small part of you that found just a little bit of joy in the thought of me sitting on the side of the road in this particular vehicle.
No. I feel horrible. I was like, man, that could have been me. That could be me right there. It should have been me. Yeah, you're right. But I'm glad it was you though.
So it came in, and I'm looking at it. We got a random misfire, right? Plug wire was off. I don't know if we went over that, but for whatever reason, the plug wire on cylinder on the opposite side of the five had fallen off. So we get that back, plug it in. Oh, it's cool. And I'm like, oh, look, you idiot, you had the plug wire off. So then I drive it over to your place, and then you said, well, it was actually not as bad. It had a minor misfire, and maybe let me go drive it. Then I just, I figured it was, out of gas or the plug wire is off. That would be that easy, but it wasn't that easy. So I take off, go back, and sure enough, I pick up that misfire you're talking about on the freeway.
So you did feel it.
I did feel it.
Okay.
I felt exactly what you're talking about, like a little bit of kick in, like, oh, that's kind of weird. Okay, so let's get back. So we get back to the shop. By the time I get there, the plug wire had fallen off at we get up to 46 East. I turn over onto Buena Vista, so about 4 or 5 miles from your place. It starts getting real bad. I'm like, fucking plug wire fell off again. Well, it wasn't for lack of trying, So I get it back. I recrimp the little end of the wire to make sure it's on there solid. Get all my picoscope hooked up. I'm at the PCM and I'm watching the driver output of the coils. I'm on the 3 because it's got the 3 outputs for the twin cylinder, like the 1.3,
right.
The whatever. So I'm in all 3 outputs of the coil drivers, and I'm watching them fire. Then I have one on the injector because I want to watch when the injectors stop firing if it goes into misfire. Anyway, so now I'm going down the road. I get around the corner from the shop. All of a sudden, full shutdown. TAC light comes on, no throttle response. It just dies on me. And I remember you had said that earlier when you brought it over, you're like, that's weird. I got on the freeway and I go to hit the throttle and there was no response. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, motherfucking thing's doing it to me. Yeah. What the hell? And I look down and it's sure enough, no fuel and no spark, nothing. But of course, it's instantaneously dead. And I'm like, I can just barely coast it over to the side of the 13th Street Bridge. Now, mind you, this is a bridge that goes over a river and it's raining and it's a 4-lane bridge with no shoulder. So
a lot of people were hating. A lot of people were hating you.
This is 4:30 on a Friday. Cool. And it's raining. And I'm like, I'm not, oh man. So I'm under the hood. I'm checking, make sure none of my back probes maybe, mess with anything, make sure everything's tight. And it's got it's got that hard crank where it's obviously it's off time. Something feels like it's off time. And it's well, there's no point in trying to crank it. I ain't going to get this thing started. And so the next thing I know, freaking PD pulls up behind me.
Hey.
And I'm calling you, hey, come get me. Mind you, okay, so y'all probably don't know, but my place is maybe a quarter mile from his. You go up River Road, maybe 100 yards, take a right across this bridge, take a left on Paso Street, and he's about 300 yards down on the left. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
So I'm like on that bridge. I'm like, you got to come get this thing. And I'm like getting ready, getting all my gear. Like I'm just like ripping shit out, like rolling it up. Like it's time for me to go. I'm like, I'm out.
I'm walking.
I'm walking.
I'm walking home.
I'm out. And the PD pulls up behind me. So I get out and I'm like, okay, hey, this is the deal. Whatever. It's not my truck. I don't want anything to do with this thing. Wow. I'm not even supposed to be working on this right now. Okay, I have no work order. This is the guy, the guy, wow, the shop that it's supposed to be at. He's coming to get it. So we'll just wait for him. Oh, well, can you just hang out with the truck till he gets here? I guess. Sure. So I go back in the truck and I'm like sitting there. I can't sit here all day. This is crazy. It was probably only like 5 minutes, but you know,
it felt like an eternity.
And I'm just waiting for the owner of this company, of this vehicle, to come pulling up. Like, I do not want to talk to this guy. Like, we've had our, we'll just say it was one of the clients in the early years that I had to fire, that you were gracious enough to take on for me. So I do appreciate you taking him off my back. But anyway, that's the situation. So I'm just trying to get out of there. You know, I got all my stuff, my laptop, all my scope, my leads all rolled up, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna start. I start walking. I'm like, hey, look, he'll be here any minute. Like, tow it if he's not.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Okay.
And he's like, well, I'll just give you a ride. And I'm like, okay. So I go to jump in the front. He's like, no, you got to get in the back. I'm like, been a long time since I've been in the back of one of these. It's like jump in. I'm like, man, I don't remember. I remember being a lot more room back here.
Man, if it was me, I'd probably be in handcuffs. I'll give you a ride. Put on the handcuffs first. Like it's just protocol. That's what we do. Wow.
Yeah. So now I'm sitting in the back of a freaking cop car on a Friday with it raining out. How did this happen to me? How am I in this situation right now? And then Christian, another local guy here, tow company, comes pulling up behind me and, is that your buddy? I'm like, that's not the buddy, but that is a buddy. And so he hops out. He's like, I'll go grab my tow truck right now. We'll tow it. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But I can't get out. You got to let me out. I can't. These doors don't open from the inside. But he doesn't hear me because the window's up. So the cop, he like rolls his hook. It was like, I think it was Armstrong, the cop, Armstrong. Hey, you got to let him out, because he wasn't about to get out of his car. It was freaking raining, cats and dogs right then. It's like coming down hard. You got to let him out. That was funny.
Wow.
Definitely an adventure. And then sure enough, we get it loaded up and towed. And I'm, with Christian now, we're going down to your place, and what do you know? Speak of the devil.
Yep.
Who's got to show up at your place? Oh, I saw my truck on the side of the bridge. I thought I'd stop by and see what's going on. Well, it's getting fixed. That's what's going on.
Gotta love it.
God, this turned into a circus. It just went south so quickly. How does that happen on such a beautiful? Right. It wasn't a nice day. Well, it did. It started out blue and it started raining at like noon, and then it just kind of like got worse from there.
It was supposed to be just a simple Friday. I was supposed to just go over there, come here. Hey, could you just give me some insight, another fresh pair of eyes, and just take a look at this, see what you think. And it just turned out to be what it did.
It's a lot of other people's Fridays too. I'm sure there's a lot of people relating to that.
Yeah,
got to be, right. Yeah. We can't be the only ones doing that kind of stuff.
I don't think so.
Not the only jamucks around here doing that kind of stuff.
Could we be that lucky? Who knows? But I'm glad. I'm glad. I mean, I think I'm very positive that this is a fix. So I'm just kind of excited and eager tomorrow to just take it for a drive, and if that thing's good to go, then oh my God, I'll be
excited. I think you're confusing excitement with anxiety, but that's okay.
You're probably right. You're right.
I think it's a hard thing for everyone.
It just anxiety of seeing them drive up the parking lot, and it's like checking up on it. I was like, oh my God, what do I have to say about this right now?
It's like what's Dane Cook say? He says maybe you're just so you confuse excited with anxiety. Because maybe you're anxious, but really you're just so excited that you're going to win. That you're going to win.
That's a good point.
You just might. Well, I think that's important to talk about with the free diagnostic stuff. I mean, so obviously we're really close as far as genre and like clientele, and obviously in the same town. But everyone's got a different way of like taking on that free work or giving that free information. You take one in, you do your courtesy check, or do you pay or do you have them pay for your inspection, or do you do free assessment and then add like 2 hours of diagnostic? I mean, there's so many different ways of doing it, but at the end of the day, it's all about the numbers, right? So if the numbers make sense, they make sense. But for me, we've always done the $150 assessment. If it needs further advanced assessment, we need another hour at a tiered labor rate, right? If it's electrical or whatever, and we'll just kind of pinpoint it that way. But I've always done that to just try to weed out right away. Like, do you want to spend money? And I think like we talk about the retainer kind of fee, right? And that makes sense. And that's kind of how I started. I never look at it that way, but I just want to like, look, it's $150 for me to take it and look at it. It's not $150 for you to drop it off, but I'm going to spend an hour with it, so you're getting something out of it. But I'm not going to just like run codes, get an idea what's going on, and then you're going to be like, oh, okay, well, thanks for that. Like, do I owe you anything? No, don't worry about it. I only had like 10 minutes, like, because it's hard to justify that. It takes you 5-10 minutes. I mean, even though it's your $10,000 scan tool, you're only looking at it for 5 or 10 minutes to pull codes and take a quick look under the hood. And so it's hard for you to justify that 5 or 10 minutes to charge. And you're just like, oh, well, it's goodwill. I'm doing them a favor. Yeah. It'll come right back, right? Like, and it's like, I got away from that so quickly, but I don't know if.
No, I got to say that I'm pretty guilty on that. I still do it. And I don't know what it is. I just can't seem to get myself out of that rut of doing it.
Right. I don't know if it's right or wrong though. That's the thing.
I mean, for me, it just, I don't know. I just figure, okay, it's like I tell customers that when they call me about a check engine light on, I say, you know what, bring it in. I'll scan it. Kind of give me an idea, get me prepped of what I'm going to be facing, what I'm going to be dealing with. And I said, the code I'm going to be extracting doesn't tell me the answer. It just gives me an idea what I'm going to be looking at, what I'm going to be testing.
Right.
That's like, so, but I like to get a head start on it. If you're going to bring it in a certain day, I like to get a head start on it, get myself informed, get myself prepped and all that. And once it's here, I know what to check, what to test, and it just makes the process a lot faster.
Yeah, do your research.
Yeah.
I always look at codes as like a zip code. Yeah. And then you got to find the street address,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. So that's my process. And, you know, depending on what the code is, that's where I decide whether, well, it's a pretty straightforward code. It's pretty simple. I mean, I'll just.
Yeah, but how do you manage that as like an operating procedure? You're the only one that.
You're right. You can, and that's.
I mean, it takes the skill of a good technician to say, okay, what's a good. I don't know. What's a good example of that? Like an evap code versus a misfire code, to know the difference there and the time it's going to take. Right. You know, but even still, an evap code can definitely send you in circles. Okay. And some guys hate evap codes. I think they're pretty simple. There's not a lot to the system that you got to do. I've never had one really. I had a couple kick my ass a little bit, but not as bad as like a PO300.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, and like for transmission codes, those are simple for me. I can take most transmission codes and get a pretty damn good idea what's going on. It comes in with a Dodge with a PO868 line pressure code and the fluid's black. It's like, that's a pretty easy diagnosis. You need a transmission. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but that's like, are you expecting your techs that you hire to have that knowledge? And then, so now you're going to work your techs into that operating procedure, like, so it's like you got to standardize everything. Right. And you got to say, hey, you know what, that is a simple thing for most A-level veteran techs to know, but that's not who we're feeding on the majority. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. And you know what, and for the most part, since I'm the one answering the phone calls most of the time and I get these calls, whenever I tell certain customer, yeah, bring it in, I'll check it out and see what code comes up, just scan it, whatever. I usually make sure that I do that because I know what I'm going to do versus having them come in and just have anybody else help them. Yeah, they're going to want to expect diagnostic time and all that. So I typically try to jump in there.
What's the thought behind that? Is that fear motivated, or what's the motivation behind wanting to take head on and bottleneck kind of yourself like that?
You know what? I've been trying to figure it out this whole time. I know I've been the same thing you've been asking me. I've been asked before, and I don't have there's no rhyme or reason on why I do that. I think it's just.
Well, I don't think like you need to look at it as necessarily being the wrong thing. If you're making money and everything the shop's flowing, like, is it the wrong thing? I don't know. But if you don't like that, if you don't like looking back at over a year and realizing that you're in that position, then I think it's important to kind of reflect, like, why am I bottlenecking myself? Why am I I mean, you can have QC. I'm QC. Like, I make sure I look at every vehicle before it leaves, you know, like, and
I think you should.
I mean,
you should. And I think that's.
But should I? I don't know. Like, is that you know what I mean? Like, just because it's what I do doesn't mean it's like the right thing.
No,
to do.
right. But I believe in that because every car that leaves this place pretty much has got your name on it.
Yeah, but I don't want that. Like, I want the techs, you know, to know that they're the one. Like, when I worked for somebody, like when I worked on it, it was my hands on it. I never really looked at it as like, I mean, it was the shop's work, but I wasn't like, oh, like the boss looked at it, and I'd always get annoyed when they come in like, how'd everything go? Like, I worked on it. Why are you asking this guy? And I'll say that too. Like, hey, I didn't work on it. Like Dennis or Nolan, like they were. You want me to grab them? I can grab them. They can talk to you about it because they're the tech that was behind it, and I assign them accordingly to their skill level. You know, like I take the time and manage and make sure, hey, he's really good at doing this stuff, and I want him to do it, and you know, and then we come back. It's like, hey, Dennis was the lead on this, just so you know, like.
You know, and then you now you mentioned that, you're right, because back then when I was wrenching, every car that came in here that I worked on, I made sure that when that car leaves, it was top notch.
Yeah, because
I know it's going to have my signature on it.
Right.
So I didn't really think about it at the shop as far as was the shop work, shop car. So I mean, this is Lalo's car. Yeah, this is me. I worked on it. I want to make sure that if it leaves, it's not coming back because of something stupid or something I forget.
And I think 99.9% of the techs out there have that same thought process, and I think that's why it's important to like.
You would think.
I mean, you would hope.
You would hope so.
No, I mean, I know there's a lot of. I mean, we're talking about techs. We're not talking about mechanics.
Right.
Like level B and A auto technicians in this industry, which is 20 to 30% of the mechanic field, end quotes. Right, yeah. So 20% of like the actual people that work on cars are actual auto technicians. Of those, 99.9% of them really care and want their stamp of approval on there. Yeah. And they don't want any, I mean, I feel like they wouldn't want someone checking their work because they're like, I already checked it.
Yeah.
You know, but someone like, check it. Like, you ain't gonna find nothing.
You know, no, yeah. I mean, but
that's the mentality you want in your shop, is if you have a tech there.
Yeah, you know? No, that's not being cocky. That's just being confident.
Yeah.
So that's what I would want out of my techs.
Yeah.
Is that.
But they gotta want it for themselves.
Yeah, they do, and then that's what I keep on telling these guys is like, you know what, you gotta take pride in what you do.
Yeah.
You know, don't do it for me. Do it for yourself. Just whatever car you worked on, make sure this thing is leaving and you could, you know, stamp it, sign it, say, you know what, this thing's not going to come back for whatever stupid reason. I left something loose or whatever. So,
but that's why it's kind of important. Like when I was talking about like QC and me being like the front of the QC, why, like, should I be doing that? That's what I mean. Like, I'm doing it because, I mean, it's just good to have a second pair of eyes on it, and I don't want to have a stupid call and have to like explain myself why this one little bracket was left or whatever. Like, like I just want to take and make sure, like, okay, make sure the fluids are topped off, like just the simple stuff. I'm not like going through the whole repair again. I'm just making sure that, you know, there's no grease prints on the visor from their hats or grease prints on the door, like just simple stuff like that. Yeah. That like, because people see that and then all of a sudden like the whole world's gonna end, you know, one greasy footprint or whatever. So, but it's like, that's what I said, should I be doing that? It's like the techs, they have so much pride in what they're doing already, or you assume they do, is that something you should be doing? And it's the same thing with you heading off every car that comes in, is like, is you taking that on, setting a good example for the techs? It's like, wow, does he not trust me to like be able to take this car from the start to the end? You know what I mean? Like, is that bad for the morale? You know, as the same point of me looking at everyone at the tail end of it? Or is that like you stepping in and being like, hey, I'm just doing my part and making sure we're all on the same team?
I mean, I never looked at it that way as far as how they would see it. For me, it would be more like keeping the flow moving, like making things just run more smoother. So if this car
from your point of view, that's how you see it.
My point of view.
That's how you see it, but you haven't seen it from their side.
No, exactly. So for me, it's like, okay, this car's coming in for check engine. Let me just get a head start on it, check the code, see what it is, get an idea what we're dealing with. Okay, if I feel like this needs to move forward as far as a diagnostic, then I said, okay, this car is here for this code, so look into it, diagnose it, and then let me know what you need.
Right.
Versus, 98% of the time when you get an O2 code, it's an O2.
Yeah.
So when I get those type of codes, I'm just like, well, it's pretty much just probably an O2 sensor. Just go get one.
So you're probably ordering all four, have them on the shelf ready to go.
I don't know.
Verify the problem. At least they're there on the shelf ready to go.
I don't pre-order. I mean, if I know what sensor it is, I pre-order if I know it's coming tomorrow, but I don't order it, have it on the shelf and have it ready, replace all four or whatever.
But I guess that's the idea behind it, is trying to head off, make sure that each job has a little bit of
that way
preemptive.
So when the job comes in, parts are already there. All right, this car's for here, this is for this, that's for this for that. Parts are here, just keep it flowing. So that's one of the things for me. The biggest thing for me is, I feel
like that's a good system. I just feel like it's a huge bottleneck. Like, I just feel like that's a really good way to like get your bearings kind of started. But I feel like that would turn into kind of a bottleneck, because you cannot do that to every car if you start running like, say, 10 or 15 cars a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're starting to push the boundaries as far as what you can do. Because even if you spend a half of an hour with every one of those cars, that's your whole day.
Yeah.
And you haven't answered any phones. You haven't done anything.
You're right. And that's what I mean. Is like, I know there's certain jobs, I could get some diagnostic time out of it. But in my mind, I just see, you know what? It's not, I really didn't spend any much time on it. It's just, like, for example, going back to the O2 sensor code.
Yeah.
It's just an O2 sensor. Just put one in. Done.
Call it a day.
Call it a day. Easy. In and out kind of thing. But I know I'm losing out on the diagnostic time on certain jobs because I know I should. And what would be the word? I'm not entitled.
I mean, you're deserving of the diag.
Yeah.
I mean, you're deserving of the diag time.
Yeah.
And it seems easy, and I think that's a big thing for a lot of guys that are like super experienced. And I run across it a lot. I mean, I help out a lot of the other shops around when they have transmission issues. I'll just give them the information, and so I'm guilty of it. I don't do it to consumers. I've found that line pretty quick. Like, if I'm gonna help somebody, I'm gonna help other shops with their transmission problems, but I'm not gonna help the consumer.
Right.
Not because I'm being like facetious about it or trying to be like it, but it's the money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna give free time away, I want it to go to somewhere where they're going to continually use it. Even though that sounds counterintuitive, because it's like, oh, that's your competition. It's like, no, I mean, if I can give them a little information and they can make their shop better, that's going to make my shop better, because we all get better. And I want to, like, the competition thing doesn't really bother me, but it's like the consumer that comes in and I give them this information and this free assessment and this free information. They're going to use it that one time with their one car and they're never going to remember it again. It's like, I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting their time. Just pay me for my time. I'm going to fix it right. I'm going to stand behind it. And then you can go on and do whatever you do with your life. You don't need to learn this stuff.
No.
And some people act like they're genuinely interested, but they're not. They're just interested in saving money.
Right. And I think we had the conversation before. I don't know if it was on air or off air, but, I don't like when people come in and I say, hey, your competition down the street here, checked it out and this and that. And I was like,
I am the competition.
I don't have the competition. I said, but everybody here, especially here locally, we're all colleagues. We try to help each other.
Yeah.
So I personally don't see it. Yeah. I don't know about everybody else, but I don't see it as a competition. There's enough work to go for everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't need
as long as you're doing your job.
Yeah, right. So I don't have to worry about, he's taking my work, he's taking my job. No. You do your thing. You got your clientele. I got mine. Everybody's got theirs. I mean,
Yeah.
It's starting to go around. So just when they come in saying that, I was like, no.
I feel like if everyone kind of did the exact same thing, that might attribute to it a little bit. But just like right now, talking about the way you intake a vehicle versus I intake one, not everyone's going to want the way you do it or the way I'd want to do it, you know?
Right.
And if it works for you, then that's the way you're going to do it. Like, there's no reason to change it if you're making money. But it's just interesting to obviously converse about it and like,
yeah,
the different ways of being able to conduct it, and how some people they see things on the internet or on YouTube or on a podcast, and they're like, oh, I need to do that in my shop. And it's like, well, you don't need to, do you? Like, if what you're doing is working, like, why? What's your motivation to change it? And it's like I asked you, like, what's your motivation to do it the way you're doing it now? Like, is it because it's working, or just that's what you like to do? Because maybe that's just what you like to do, you know? You like to be able to like make that guess and be right. I don't know.
You know what? And I think a lot of it has to do with pretty much how I was trained, because that's how things were done back then. So I continue to do things the way they were.
Yeah, it's kind of old school.
Yeah, old school. So, just like, for example, I mean, I was kind of trained old school, where every car comes in kind of gets that gas station treatment.
Yeah.
It drives in, you check the air pressure, tire pressure, you check wipers, you check fluids, you do check all the fluids, just give it a visual inspection. Doesn't matter if it came in for a light bulb or for tune-up. You do a visual inspection, check it, and you'll end up finding something, but it's just kind of a courtesy check.
Yeah.
And that's the old school mentality, the old school gas station mentality that people would have back then.
Yeah.
So I kind of was brought up that way at the shop. So I still have a little bit of that, but now I know I gotta change as time changes. And so,
yeah, I don't know. It's just trying to, in a sense, capitalize. I mean, obviously. And it's not even to capitalize necessarily, trying to like bump up your repair order. Of course, that's a nice benefit that comes along with it. But it's like you said, doing a disservice to the consumer if you can't positively ID everything that's wrong in their vehicle. And the one thing is, like, if you don't do it, the next guy's going to do it. And if the next guy don't do it, the next guy's like, there's going to be one of us. And it's eventually going to come to me, and I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to make sure I go over that vehicle and I found every damn thing that's on that, and I enjoy that. I enjoy being able to pick a vehicle apart, take my time with it, and really spend the time with each vehicle and each person. I don't want to do like 20, 30 people a day. Like, doing smogs back when I was out of high school, it was probably my biggest deterrent of getting away from that. Like, doing 30 to 40 smogs a day and dealing with that many consumers and not having the time to talk to anybody was like, it's terrible. I just can't do it.
No,
and the same with the oil changes. Constant in and out. You're not spending any time with anybody. And it's the same thing I just said with the investment on time. You're trying to train somebody, you're trying to teach somebody, about a code, and then you never see them again. And it's like the same thing. It's like you can spend like a good hour with a consumer and tell them who you are, what you're doing. You build a relationship, and that's like an investment of your time. And then it's like they come back for more. But if you do like a quick oil change and you're trying to build this relationship, they're like, okay, you're the cheapest in town. Thanks. See ya. And you never see them again. It's like, that was a waste of my time. It was a waste of my life. Like, I'm never going to see them again. And I just like my time of investment and getting this client in the door and then talking to them for the 10 minutes was like, that was not even worth it.
You know what? I think we talked about this last time. I think for me, this whole like social media, the reviews and everything to a certain point still get to me.
Yeah.
Because I think a little bit of that still drives me. Because, like, for example, I just had a vehicle, what was it, yesterday, where he called me, he's out of town, he's traveling through, and he had some kind of transmission issue. It was on a Acura RDX. So he was asking me, well, the drive light keeps on flashing, and it gave me some kind of transmission message on the screen. I said, well, I can't answer whether it's, if you want to know if it's safe to drive, make it all the way over here. So I can't answer that. It's
right.
Like, I don't know what's wrong. So I I can't give you an answer on that. I mean, so I gave him suggestions of what to do. But so luckily he made it. He made it all the way. I think it was over there by Kettleman City. So he made it all the way to town.
About 2 hours.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, "Well, you're here." It seemed like it was quicker than that, but I mean, yeah, I'm about an hour and a half away. And it seemed like half an hour, and he was already there. I was like, but time flies. But I kind of did a quick inspection. Just okay, let me check the code. Did have some kind of torque converter code. All right, let me check the fluid. Fluid didn't look too bad, but it was mediocre. So I gave my recommendation of what needed to be done. But at the end of all that, I mean, nothing was done just other than checking the code and whatnot. So at the end, he wanted to know how much it was going to be for checking it out. And I was like, you know what, don't worry about it. Just, if you can, just, go online, go on Google, write a review, and cool. So for me, I mean,
so that's how you have a couple hundred reviews, though. That's how you have 250 some odd 5-star reviews. So you are paying for them.
To a certain point, I am. And that's what I think about it is like, yeah, I gotta get some time out of that. I gotta get some money out of it for the diagnostic, at least the time that I spent on it. But for me, it wasn't that big of a deal. So you know what, the least you could do is just write me a review.
I don't know. You gotta. So,
I mean, I think a lot of that.
For you,
I got to get that out of my system.
Well, I mean, for you took the call, you took the work in, you looked at the vehicle, and then you executed the delivery. So you were the main, you were the POC on the whole thing.
You're right, and I think and the reason why I do that, I think, is because
you're emotional.
Maybe so.
You're sensitive.
Maybe a little sensitive, a little emotional. And you know that. But I think if it was one of my other guys doing that, it'll be different because I'm paying them to do that. For me, it's like it doesn't matter if I do this or not, I do it for free or not.
I think that's a big problem.
I think it was what it is.
I mean, that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
Is owners not feeling like they're deserving of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like for me, if I had a service writer and they got to take that phone call, they got to talk this guy down. You got to be an emotional counselor. Okay, so mark that off as a job. So now you're emotionally counseling them. Then they got to come in. So now you got to prep the shop and and make advance appointment for them to come in. Now they show up. Now you have the service writer take them in. There's another emotional counseling appointment.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
And then you got to have a tech pull it into the shop, do his thing on it. Wash his hands. Keep it clean. You have the responsibility of something happening to the vehicle while it's in the shop. So you have the insurance to cover it. I mean, it's not just a quick run the codes, check it out, and see ya. I mean, there's a lot of nuances behind that. And it's the exact same thing as a plumber showing up to your house on a service call. $75, $150, $250, whatever they charge you for the service call. That just covers their overhead. It covers them for their van, their maintenance on their van, their tires, their insurance, all that stuff. They show up and they put a plunger in your toilet for 30 seconds. And there you go. That's it. And people are like, oh, you're going to charge me for that? No, they're like, here's my service fee. Oh, thank you so much. $400 to unplug my freaking toilet. With an $8 plunger in 10 minutes of time. That's not how they look at it. They just know all of a sudden the plumber is they already know it's a service call. That's what it costs for them to show up. So it's just because they're not coming to you, you're coming here to a shop. It's there's still got to be a service call. There's still got to be a service fee. And that's what I've always taken on. You show up here, you talk to anybody here. Not to make it sound like I'm pompous, but it's that costs money.
No, you're right.
You can walk into a retail shop and go browse around Kmart or Target, and you don't have to spend a dime, whatever. And that's what they think they can do when they come to a shop. It's they got that retail mentality. They can come in, they can browse, they can get prices, they can get information, and then they can go on their merry way. It's no, that's not. No. I've got a lineup that's 2 weeks long of people that are willing to pay me for my time and my guys' experience and expertise. And what makes you think you can come in here and just get it for free? Yeah. But I'm like you, I want to help too. But also at the end of the month, when I'm looking at the numbers, it's I got to stop helping.
No, you're right. I think I just have a soft heart for people.
Well, we all do. That's why we're all struggling.
Yeah.
That's why we're all like a 2% net profit. It's because we're all just cutting our teeth so close, trying to make sure that we make just enough so we can help the next one out for some reason. It's like attorneys don't do that.
Yeah, nobody complains about it.
Doctors don't do that. They don't go exploratory surgery for free. Okay, so I found this tumor. What do you want to do? I'll go and stitch me back up, doc. I got this other guy around the corner. I'll take it out for half the price. You know what I mean?
I got a coupon.
A 2-for-1. I just needed your experience to tell me exactly where it was, so I can go over there and have this discount guy do it for half the price. Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, we can translate that. We can definitely make that work, and that's part of the reason why I make sure they pay when they come in. Like, hey, you know what? You can do what you want with our DVI and our assessment. Like,
you paid for it, so yeah.
You paid for it. You do whatever you take it wherever you want and have them do all the stuff that we recommended. I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you were to do that, and now this guy takes your experience and just goes somewhere else and has somebody else do the work, like that's got to bother you a little bit.
No, it does. If I look at it that way and I think about it, yeah. I mean, it does. I mean,
they look at your glorious, 230 whatever 300 5-star reviews, and they're like, oh, I want to use this guy because he's got to know what he's talking about. So they take it to you, and then they take your word and they go down to the guy with no stars, and that's $80 an hour, and they do the work and they get the job off of what you told them to go do.
No, I see. I see the point. I'm looking at it that way.
It's kind of frustrating, right?
It does sting.
I mean, you're not going to fix all the guys out there that are like that, but
no. And then that's like I said, and that's one of the things I've been trying to work on.
Yeah.
I say, you know what? You do deserve to get paid for your time, and I need to change that.
Yeah.
Maybe once in a while you want to do some pro bono work or something. Yeah, give a free diagnostic.
I think you do it or you don't do it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And once you get into that rhythm, it's just what happens.
But the way you handle things, the way you having an assessment fee, I think that sounds like a pretty good idea. Which I've been pondering about that and been looking into that and trying to see if I could implement that at the shop, because I think that would function, that would work, and it sounds fair.
The problem is the deliverables that you can give off of the assessment. And one of the big things that we work on every week when we sit down for our meetings is ensuring that the guys, when they do the assessment, they're not guaranteeing anything. Yeah. And it's difficult because it is an hour, but there's a lot of the vehicle that you need to look at. And of course it's here for a problem. Right. Like occasionally we get something comes in, hey, I just bought this car, can you inspect it? Like, yeah, that's a home run. That's nice and easy. There's nothing specific we need to look at, and we just take that as a win. Like, cool. Like, like they're not here for a specific reason. And so it's just going to be a nice and easy assessment. We're going to see what it needs and then write a nice little list up and call it a day. The problem comes when it comes with an engine light with like 15 different codes.
Yeah.
And that assessment turns into, well, what does it need? Well, we verified that we have 14 codes, not 15 codes, or 16 codes, not 15 codes. We verified that 10 of them are the engine, 5 of them are transmission, 2 of them are the body, whatever. And so that's the hardest part, because the techs take it in and they want an answer. Like they want, in that hour, they feel like they're expected to have a diagnosis, and that's why I hate using the word diagnosis, but they're expected to diagnose this vehicle with this assessment, and that really muddies the water, because you get this really nice and easy used car purchase that comes in for a 1 hour assessment, and it's basically a 1 hour like courtesy check.
Right.
And I've heard people tell me, hey man, you're ripping people off, like we do that for free. Like, no, you don't do it for free, you just add it on the back end. You're gambling. Like, yeah. You're just hoping you do it for free. You tell these people it's free. They all automatically trust you, because anytime you give anything for free, people automatically just fall in love with you. They're like, sweet, free? Like, these are good people. Yeah, I like these people a lot. I'll do whatever they tell me to do now.
Yeah, now you're your buddies or friends now. It's like anything free, you're a buddy.
Yeah.
So
they helped me out. They really helped me out. That was a freebie. So I'll do whatever. So you're gambling. You do the free inspection 30-point courtesy check, and then you're banking on getting that work, right? And it turns into kind of a pressure sale, And I didn't want that. I don't want the pressure sale. I was like, no, you already paid me for my time. This is everything we want. You want to do it or you don't want to do it. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. I'm not saying the right way I do it is right or wrong. It's just what works for me. And it jumped up our RO number. And I think it conversely went the other way. So instead of having the clients that want the free stuff and then they do what, your recommendations based that you gave them something free, they see it as like, oh, wow, like there's no pressure.
It's like
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I think it's like you're saying, I don't think there's a right and wrong. It's whatever works for you. Mm-hmm. So, if that works for you, cool. If whatever I'm doing works for me, cool.
Yeah.
But if there's something that we could tweak or change to make it even better, well, why not? And that's kind of what I like about our conversations is I'm learning from you quite a bit. I mean,
don't start.
Nah, yeah, don't start. I don't want to be honest.
I see what you're doing, and I don't like it.
Oh, really?
You're doing that free diagnostic thing that you do.
Oh, yeah, bring it in.
See, but I think where there is a line, right? And I think the line for me on my side of it is guaranteeing a diagnostic in that assessment. So we're very upfront and clear. That's like, okay, we're going to look at it. We're going to verify that we still have codes. We're going to get the zip code of the county, right? And then we need to figure out what address it is after we find out what zip code it is. So this is what we're doing. We're verifying our zip code. And then on our advanced assessment, we're going to tell you exactly what address it is, what repair we need to do. So if the coolant's low, that automatically goes to a coolant pressure check assessment. That's a separate fee. If you want us to invest our time to find the coolant leak, we can do that, but I'm not going to spend the time to tell you or guess, well, it looks like the radiator seems leaking, so you probably need a radiator. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, if you want your coolant leak fixed that we found under our full inspection assessment, that's going to be a separate charge. And then we'll dive into that and we'll tell you exactly where it's leaking and we'll stand behind it. Same thing with codes. And that's where it's hard too, because some codes, like it's got a PO3, it's got a 301, PO301, and you look down and the freaking wire's hanging off the spark plug or melted on the exhaust. Well, that's probably what it is. But is it? And how long has it been like that? So do we just jump right to the conclusion? Oh, under the assessment, we saw a burnt wire. You had a PO301, so we can put a set of wires on it that'll fix your misfire. Oh, I ain't saying that. Not a chance. That's going to go in the notes, and I tell the guys, I need you to just notate it. We found a wire that was burnt on cylinder 1. We need advanced assessment to look into the misfire. And for a while there, I was muddying the waters a little bit and being like, hey, if you guys find something easy like that, let's just throw it on there. We'll help out. We'll just help out the consumer, right? Like, just throw that in there. Like, just plug the wire back on. No big deal. No, it is a big deal. Because now you touched the vehicle. Don't take spark plugs out. Don't pull wheels off. Like, we're not doing any of that stuff. We don't want to do that. If we got drum brakes, we're going to sell an advanced assessment for rear brake inspection. Like, you break a lug nut it's like it's a hands off, no wrench inspection. It's like, I don't want to start disassembling the vehicle because it just turns into more. And maybe I've just been unlucky with my my early years of just everything freaking backfiring on me. So every one of my procedures has like a backup plan for a backup plan.
You're just paranoid.
I'm just like
paranoid.
I'm just like optimistic it's gonna be wrong or bad.
So you're
optimistically
saying,
pessimistic.
So you're saying you start off with an assessment, which is pretty much an inspection of the vehicle.
Pretty much just a courtesy check that we charge for.
And then aside of that, if you find something wrong, then you get
advanced assessment
for that specific
every single thing, every code, every leak.
So if you had, say, 4 different codes, so you would have an advanced assessment for every.
That's a good question because that's something that we talk about a lot. If you have 4 evap codes, obviously not.
Right.
But for the most part, yeah. We're going to go through and prioritize. And that's where it comes to like, I've basically stepped in now because there is no like operating procedure I can really put in play. I just say, hey, look, if we got multiple codes, I want you to talk to me. And then we're going to prioritize these codes, and we're going to sell an advanced assessment based on the priority codes. Because some codes will be set because of other ones, right?
Right.
Just depending on what the situation is. You get a mass airflow code and a misfire, let's not spend a lot of time on the mass airflow code here. Let's figure out the misfire first.
Right.
If we got a trans code and a misfire code, let's make sure our transmission's in good, healthy, working, operating condition, and then we can look into the misfire code. I just kind of work backwards that way because we're a trans shop. So that's what works for us. But it's always about trying to make sure that we're not going to if we got evap codes and misfire codes and transmission codes, we're not going to start diagnosing the evap codes.
Right.
I don't give a...
All right.
So they're learning, and we're learning that process together, and everyone's a little different. It's all about prioritizing what's important. Same with leaks. If we got coolant leaks or oil leaks, it depends on where the oil leak and how bad the oil leak is. But for the most part, we're going to check the coolant leaks first. That's, in my opinion, more important than the oil leaks. If we got low coolant, we want to make sure we don't have a blown head gasket. We want to see where the coolant leak is, get it addressed and fixed, repressurize it, make sure it's holding, and then we can run the vehicle and verify the oil leak next and kind of take it like that. But each one of those processes is an advanced assessment. We're not going to say, hey, we're going to fix all your leaks. It's going to be, $200, $300, whatever the ends up being. It's no, we're going to start with our 1 hour on our coolant pressure test. We'll run that up to that hour. And that's why I like that retainer, because it's coolant test, pressure test could take way longer than that. But You get the point. We'll spend the 1 hour assessment fee, which is $185 for that 1 hour. And then we're going to basically find out where it's leaking at. And we're going to say, hey, this is what we need to fix the coolant leaks. We're going to repressure test, reassess. If there's any other leaks, we'll let you know. Otherwise, we'll move on to the oil leaks. And just kind of take it one step at a time like that. And I think breaking it up like that, it helps the techs too, because I can see your mind spinning already about taking it from a tech point of view and just wanting to fix everything on the vehicle right away, instead of really taking your time and taking it each step at a time, instead of running up the stairs. It's no, we're here to fix the vehicle, right? Okay, but that doesn't mean that we have to fix it every time,
Right.
So fix what we can in the budget that we can fix it in. We're not required to fix this stuff for free, And I think that's part of the problem is there's this expectation as us as auto technicians that we have to fix these cars, we built them, we created them, and we are responsible for every little problem they have. No, not even a little bit.
No, it's just warranty work. We feel
every single one of them is a warranty job. They came out of our own personal factory, and we're required to take advantage. No. But then there's the other side of it. It's everyone's getting taken advantage of. So we want to be the guy that doesn't take advantage of the next consumer. That's not the way it is anymore. I mean, it's flopped. The percentage of shops that are taking advantage of people, it used to be huge. Now it's the other way. It's a very small percentage. I mean, with the internet and the ads and the Google freaking reviews or whatever you call it, or whatever you're into, all that stuff that you like. Yelp, is it Yelp? You like Yelp, right?
And Google.
You like that stuff, huh? You live for that, don't you?
It makes me feel good.
But anyway, with them here, it's you can't get away with that shit anymore. You cannot run a shop like that for very long and not be put on blast. And
I think that's the biggest fear for most shops is that. You fear that, and that's the thing. You don't want that.
You don't want to be that percentage.
You don't want to be that. So you're going to do whatever you need to do to not make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
And
then that goes right into our operating procedures and how we bill and how we operate the whole entire freaking shop. And it's that is just so backwards.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where you do it so much that now you're actually becoming them. Because you're missing stuff, and you don't want to do a $5,000 or $6,000 maintenance repair estimate. You start putting all this stuff together, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's $6,000. This is a '98 Toyota." I don't want to tell them they need $6,000 worth of right. And then you do all this work, and then you find something else, and you're like, I can't add another. This sweet little lady, I can't add another $200 for these ball joints, but we already have the whole front end apart, right? So you either eat it because you're just trying to do the right thing, or you just put the old ones back in because you just can't bring yourself to have that conversation.
You figured me out.
I think, I mean, that's the majority of people out there. It's definitely, and everyone thinks it's just them. And I think it's not until you realize that everybody has that same thought process, you start realizing like the only way to be different and be better is to not do that, because that's what everyone's doing. Yeah. And that's what gives them a bad name, because they go to the next one and then they're upset, you know? And they don't realize at the time, if you would have told them it was another $500 on top of their $5,000 repair bill, they probably would have blew their lid, right? Yeah. They just go to the next shop 2 years later and they're like, your ball joints are worn out. How did they do control arms and bushings and shocks and struts and rack and pinion, and they didn't replace your ball joints? Like, they didn't? Like, no, that's so weird. Why wouldn't they do that? They ripped you off. And that's how the conversation goes. Yeah. Holy moly, how did that turn like that, you know? Yeah, so it's just, you got to have the hard conversation, you know?
No, I finally came to the realization that I gave myself a title of being the bearer of bad news.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It doesn't have to be like that, though.
For the most part. I mean, it doesn't, but I mean.
You say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm happy to inform you I found all the issues that could potentially cause you major issues in the future. You're lucky I found this stuff now. Right? I mean, I don't mean to laugh at the end of it.
No, you sound like that. I mean, I want to fix it. I mean,
but that's the point behind it. You know, that's the way you got to turn it. If you think of yourself as the bearer of bad news, that's how you're going to view it, and that's how they're going to view it, because that's how you're presenting it. But hey, look, this is the stuff I found, and you know, be glad I found this now. I mean, that sounds like a typical. Well, yeah. What's that movie, The Mask? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
your engine shot and you need a new transmission. You should be glad we found this stuff now. Like, that's not what I meant to sound like at all. But in the real world, I mean, it really is like, hey, look, this is the stuff I found, and this could be a potential hazard for you, especially when you got wheel bearings or ball joints that are, you know, you lift it up and they're like 30 thousandths of slop in there. It's like, that's not good.
You know, for the most part, like I said, I feel that way. Whereas, like, you know, I'm the bearer of bad news. Yeah. But then I look at it again and say, you know what? I didn't break it. It's not my fault.
I didn't build it.
I didn't
buy it. Exactly. I didn't break it. So
exactly.
Don't bitch at me.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, no, that's my job to give this kind of news, whether they want to hear it or not.
Yeah.
So that's what they're paying me for. That's what I got to tell them. Whether they want to listen to it or not, or they like it or not, it is what it is. So what they do with that information afterwards, that's on them.
Yeah, but now you're just kind of being passive about it.
Oh my God. You can't win, man.
Now you're just gone numb to it. And you're just like mouth. Now you're just mouth vomiting what you need to tell them. Look, this is not my problem. Okay, this is your problem. So pay me or get out. And like, no, that's not right either.
Do I sound like that?
You kind of sound like that a little bit. I mean, not like a lot, but like I can see you in like 10 years turning into that. So I'm just trying to trying to nip it in the bud right now.
You know what? Like, you're probably right. 10 years from now, I could be that way.
But that's why you got to be like excited. Look at all these things that we found, and you don't have to fix them. It's fine. But if you want to, I got some of the best techs around that can do it the right way the first time. You know, like that's the idea behind it. Like, you're here to get like good service, right? Like, you're here to get this fixed right. And you don't have to. I mean, sure, it feels like you have to, because if you don't, then you lose your vehicle and then you lose your freedom. But right. I mean, it's still, what are they? It's not like you're deserving of a vehicle. It's a right, not a privilege. And I think a lot of people forget that. They think it's a privilege to own a vehicle and be able to have the freedom to drive around. It's not. No. You got to pay money for it. And I'm here to give my expertise, my honest opinion about it, make sure it stays on the road as long as it can.
Yep.
You know, and we said that last week about like managing the cost between having a vehicle and spending, say, $20,000. Or if you're going to lose that when you first buy it. But if you had a repair bill of, say, $5,000 or $6,000 and you spread that out over the year and then compared that to a new vehicle purchase and the amount of payments, right? But it's like you got to spend that $5,000 or $6,000 right up front. It's like, yeah, but you haven't spent anything on this vehicle in the last 4 years.
No, and it's
costed you zero.
Right.
So divide that $5,000 not only to this next year and the year after that, but the last 5 years that you haven't done anything either.
Right.
You know, the typical average preventive maintenance is between $600 and $1,200 a year. That's not that much. It's $100 a month.
And that's oh man, I can't imagine how many times I have this conversation with some customers. That's the first thing they ask me. Is it worth fixing? I said, well, that's the question you need to ask yourself.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, up to, the point where they started bringing the car up to me, I mean, I know what they spent on the vehicle.
Right.
But I was like, you know what you spent on the vehicle, you know what you've done to the vehicle.
Right.
So you have two options. You either let go of this vehicle, go buy yourself a new one, which your payments nowadays could be anywhere between $400 to $700, depending on what you get. I don't know. Or fix this vehicle, and if you spread it out, payments are going to be way cheaper, and you're going to have a good running vehicle for a while.
Yeah.
So they started looking at it that way, and I was like, "Oh, you're right. Never thought about that." So
yeah, the average on a new vehicle is like between $600 and $700 a month.
Yeah,
on a used one, it's like $300 to $400.
Right.
And on a used one, you're just buying somebody else's stuff. You don't know.
Exactly right.
It could be someone's problem. It could not. But even with a new one, I got. I mean, you too. 17s, 18s in the shop all the time. So new is just never ever worked. And they got more problems than the old ones anyway. So just because you buy something brand new doesn't mean you're not going to have a repair bill down the road or maintenance costs. You still have maintenance costs. So you have a $700 new car payment
on top
plus maintenance costs that you're trying to avoid right now.
Yep. And those maintenance costs could be anywhere between $100 or $200.
Well, it's typically $1,200 a year, right, for maintenance costs on a vehicle. Typical. So anywhere from $600 to $1,200, somewhere in that neighborhood. So you're trying to avoid this $1,200 maintenance bill because you decided to wait 3 years to bring it to a shop, and now you have this huge laundry list of, in quotes, all these things these guys are trying to sell me. Like, no, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to say like if you keep waiting, it's going to get worse. Like, we're stopping the bleeding right now. We don't want it to get worse. So this gets you back to new running condition. And then you can go another 3 years because you've probably gone 10 years before anyway. Yeah. But they're trying to avoid this $1,200 bill by buying a new vehicle. It's like, you still got to maintain that. You're not going to get away from it. It just blows me away. It's like, it's not an investment. You're not buying a house that you're looking to fix up and sell. It's not an investment.
A car is not an investment.
It's not. I mean, it can be. If you own a 1990 Chevy and you haven't sold it yet, then you've done pretty well. But... or a 1990 Toyota pickup. So I guess just wait 40 years and maybe it'll be worth some money. I mean, now with electric vehicles, maybe all these new gassers will be worth something in the next 30 years. I don't know. Nobody knows. This is all new stuff. Like as we go on and cars become obsolete, and sure, it might be investment, but I think everyone looks at it that way. Like, well, I can't put that kind of money in it. It's not worth it. What do you mean it's not worth it? Like, what does that mean? Like, when they say that, like you give them this $5,000 or $7,000 repair bill, and they're like, it's not even worth that. It's not even worth half of that.
You know how I get them?
What do you mean it's not worth half of that?
No, you know how I get them though too. I said, well, if you don't think it's not worth it, so let me give you that much money for the car. And they're like, well.
Oh, you're quite the sneaky little snake oil salesman over here.
Hey, it's true. Like you don't think it's worth it, and I'll give you that money for the car. And then they started thinking about it. I was like, well, no, I think I'll fix it. And I was like, okay, then it's worth fixing.
Dang.
So it's like, hey, you know what?
Smooth operator over here. God damn. Hopefully they don't call you on your bluff. Like, actually, I don't want that piece of shit. It needs so much work. What are we talking? I don't want that thing.
Hey, no joke. There's been a few times where I was sweating and I was like, oh man, please don't. Don't take me on my offer.
You go rolling home. Your wife's like, "What is that? An '81 Honda? How dare you? Why did you buy that?"
I see the reference.
Yeah, you like that? I like that. How dare you?
Oh my god.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't turn south on you.
No,
that's quite a sales pitch.
I'm just waiting for that. I'm just waiting for that day, and I was like, "All right, I'll take it." Crap. Now what?
Now what? I'm always worried about doing that because it's like, then it's like that instant. Like, did they just make up a bunch of stuff that's wrong with my car just so they could try to buy it from me?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, you're right. I've thought about that too, but usually I pick and choose. I mean, if the car is worth it, I usually use that tactic to try to entice them. You know what? just to push them a little bit. I say, you know what, it is worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth fixing. I mean, it's no doubt. But I'm pretty honest with them too. If the car is not worth it at all, period, I was like, you know what, honestly, use that money as a down payment for something else.
It's pretty rare though.
It's rare.
I mean, it's like, unless it's like a Chevy Equinox or a Chevy Traverse or something like that.
Yeah. No, that's
something I don't personally like.
Dodge Caravan or something. I say, yeah, you know what?
But even still, who are we to even make that call? You know, like, so for the most part, it's like, if it meets your needs, that's the bottom line. You know, if it meets your needs and it's got good tires on it, and most of the maintenance stuff's up to date, like, it's a tough call. I mean, I don't like to be the one. It's like picking the paint color of someone's bedroom. It's like, I don't know. No. It's like, if you like the car, if you like it, then keep it on the road. If you don't like the car and you want something and you just want something new, you're never going to be happy. Yeah. And if I convince you to do this right now and pay my guys to work on this vehicle and you don't like the car, you're never going to be happy. Yeah. You're not going to be happy with me. I'm going to be the one that's like, I don't like to be put in that position.
All right.
You know?
No, and I don't like being in that position either. It's just, I trying to reason with them, make them think as far as kind of push them to make their own decision. But but if the car is really not worth it, I'm gonna tell them. I was like, you know what? Honestly, but
what makes it not worth it though?
Well, I mean,
we're on the West Coast. We don't have a lot of rust.
Well, no, but I mean, if that thing just,
I can see like if the frame was rusted or the control arms were totally rotted out or something like that. I was like, well, no, and it's like salvaged. But for the most part, it's like, what makes it not worth it? For me,
if the car is worth $2,500 and it's got $5,000-$6,000 worth of work to be done to it.
See, but that's the exact problem that I'm talking about. It's like 20. So, like, who says it's worth $2,500? And we're talking about a repair bill, not buying. We're not buying the vehicle. We're just maintaining and repairing the vehicle back to where it needs to be. And like you said, it's not an investment. So we're not putting money into an investment. We're putting money into a vehicle, literally a vehicle that's going to put you through what you need to do for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? So it's like it's a vehicle, but I'm saying vehicle in the sense of like something that's going to transport you. Yeah, that is a vehicle. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like it's a vessel. Like it's a vessel that you're going to use.
No, I
get you get my point?
No, I totally get your point. And then it's just like when people call me for like engine repair, engine replacement,
right?
On a vehicle that, again, I go back to, how wonderful these Dodge Caravans were back in the days. Oh, yeah. So I tell them, you know what? You're going to invest $7,000 on an engine right now. Yet.
Gotta split that there. Sorry to be interrupt. Getting down to the name. Just polish it off. I think we're done.
Okay, we're done. All right.
That's the end of it.
Finish this off.
I gotta go get some more.
Next session. But you're going to spend, if you're going to spend $6,000-$7,000 on an engine, they tell them, well, if you do invest in this and put this engine in there, you got to keep in mind that the next thing that's going to go is possibly transmission.
Yeah. So
that's another $4,000 on top of that. Who knows when that's going to go? That could go 6 months from now, a year, 2 years. Who knows? So at the end of the day, you're going to have close to $10,000-$11,000 invested in this vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, but at that point, you're going to have almost a brand new vehicle.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the heart and soul of the car has already been replaced. So now all you have to worry about is just the
modules.
The miscellaneous, the modules, miscellaneous stuff.
The PCM's failing now.
Yeah. So, that's really something.
But does that make you kind of pessimistic if you're just sitting there like, well, if we put an engine, the trans is going to fail and then the PCM's going to fail? It's like, yeah, everything's going to break. Right. Everything on every vehicle is going to break. So it's like, I don't know. It just makes it tough to and like you said, now you spent $10,000, but it's a new vehicle and most likely it's going to be warranted for the next 3 years. Pretty much everything's going to be warranted for the next 3 years, right? You can't get that from a used car.
No.
You can't go spend $10,000 on a Grand Caravan and get the mechanicals warranted parts and labor for 3 years.
No.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. And usually when the other way I kind of get them thinking is, after everything's said and done, are you going to be happy?
Yeah, that's the most important part.
I mean, as long as you're happy, then okay. That's
right.
That's all I need to know.
Right.
We know what direction to go. But if you don't really have that attachment to the vehicle, I mean, that's what I tell them. You got to think about it. I mean, most people have some kind of sentimental value in the vehicle, so they're going to do whatever. They're going to do whatever they need to do to make the keep them running. Like I said, in my car, like my personal car.
Yeah, with the gold rims.
Well,
do they call them Daytons? Are they called Daytons?
No.
That's what they are.
No, they're not Daytons.
With the little spokes, right? With the tiny little spokes.
No.
With the white wall tires.
You got to be an artist.
Am I painting a picture here?
No. You got to be an artist.
This is a Honda Accord on Daytons. So everyone knows.
No, they're not Daytons. They're not Daytons. No, but you got to be an artist to understand, appreciate that. But they're not Dayton's.
They're 14s, right?
No. That used
like a 2002 Honda Accord.
No. That used to be the old me. Not anymore. I'm past that already. Can't believe you're doing this, man. Really? No, they're not Dayton's.
Oh my god.
They're not Dayton's.
I just painted the picture in my own mind. It's like fucking fantastic.
No, it's not even close to that. So, anyways, that's a perfect example for me. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do anything I need to do to keep this vehicle running. Whether I got to put a transmission, tranny. This car is a lifer for me. I love this car. It's been nothing but good to me. I'm keeping it.
Fulfills your needs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's the example that I give them. I was like, this is how you need to feel about your vehicle if you want to move forward.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel the same way, then you know what? Yeah, it's worth it. You're going to be happy with every repairs need to be done, or else you're going to move forward with this, and then at the end you're going to regret it. And it's like, crap, I shouldn't have done it.
And you're the one that talked them into it.
And then I'm the bad guy. So it's like,
this guy talked me into it. I never liked this car to begin with.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like you need to decide that what you want to do. So at that point, they start thinking and they make the decision at that point. Well, yeah, let's just do it. I love this car. I've had it since whenever, or my parents owned it, or whatever sentimental value they have with it. That's their motive. That's their answer.
Right.
So it all depends. I try not to talk or try to persuade them in any direction. I just kind of try to make them think as far as.
Yeah, and I think that's the big difference between independent shops and dealerships.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that.
And then having you as the front runner, you can kind of control that situation. I mean, it makes sense if you're the, for lack of a better term, bottleneck of the shop, and you can sit there and you can have that conversation with each one. I don't. Leanne runs the shop for the most part, and we're going to hire a service writer soon, and they'll be running the front. And we're just putting systems in place to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen.
Right. Make
sure that they're not motivated by selling a job to put us in a bad situation like that. Like, look, you're going to get commission on every service call, on every inspection that comes in, right? Because we're charging for each one that comes in.
Right.
So they're going to get their commission on just the phone call. As long as they get them in the door, that's it. There is no more, there'll be a commission on the sell, and of course, you have to, for a service writer, right? But for the most part, if I just want them in their mind to think okay, if they said no 2 times on the phone to that additional work, I want them to just cut the tie. Okay, I've already made my bogey. I'm not going to spend any more time trying to sell this because I've already made my commission and I'm going to move on to the next one. That's just of course, I don't know if it's going to work that way or not, but that's just my thought, but if they come in for an oil change and a free courtesy check or free, in quotes, diagnosis, they're going to be humping to try to sell whatever additional work the techs are recommending, right? Because they're only getting an oil change, ticket on that, and so they're going to be trying to sell that to Mrs. Jones with the Dodge Caravan that needs an engine. And that, I think that one job going south screws up the whole month. You know what I mean? No matter how big or small you are, I feel like a job like that where you put an engine in and then the transmission's bad and then it needs brakes and then that ruins the entire shop, the morale of the shop, the profit margin of the shop, everything. It don't matter if you're, $500,000-$600,000 a year or $5 million, maybe for $5 million or above, it probably doesn't, just like a blip on the radar, but it can't be. It's still a problem because it still works its way up the chains and it still eats into that month of like, what's going on? Like, why did we have a dip this month? You can't not ignore that. Like, you're going to see that on the radar, and like, I think that having that hard sale, and just like you said, like, it's probably going to need a transmission, right? Is the service rider going to have enough technical experience to be like, this is a 98 Dodge Caravan with a 41 TE or 604 transmission with 250,000 miles on it? It probably is bad. It probably is either ready to fail or is failing.
Yep.
But if it comes in with an engine knock and you can't drive it, like, how do you know? How do you know? And are the techs going to drop the pan? No, they're going to verify that the engine's got a knock and it needs an engine. But who is the catch-all in that process to be like, hold on a second here, let's put up the red flag real quick. We're not selling these people an engine, just like a head job. 250,000 miles, it needs a head gasket. So you're going to sell these people a head gasket on a freaking, well, if it's a 3.8 V6, you'll be fine. but if it's a 2.7 4-cylinder Toyota, like, you're going with 280,000 miles on it, you're going to sell them a head gasket? Really? No, we're putting an engine in this thing or we're not touching it.
It's funny you bring that up because I've been seeing that quite a lot. Vehicles coming in with 200 and something thousand miles, and it's like, it needs a head gasket. It's like, no, it doesn't need a head gasket. It needs an engine.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not gonna put a head gasket in or do a head gasket on that car, because at the end, the bottom end is gonna go, and then I'm gonna be the bad guy because I invested all this money in the top end, and now the bottom end went out. And who's the bad guy? Me. So I was like, no,
you touch it last.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
It's not even worth the conversation.
No.
And we're in a whole new age right now with these vehicles now are getting into a mileage realm that they've never been in before. Right. We haven't had vehicles with 300,000, 400,000 miles on them before, Impressive. Like we're here now, like this is now, because 2001, 2002, 2003 vehicles were built with a vengeance. Yeah. The freaking LS motors, man, like they just don't freaking die.
Awesome. They're awesome.
They don't freaking die, man. And so these, you had such a bad rap in the 80s, and through the 90s into the aughts, they started really putting their shit together. Now we're getting to freaking 2023. We got 20 years on these cars, and we're getting 200 to 50, 200, 300,000 miles on them. We're getting an uncharted territory when it comes to repairs. We're getting mileage on parts that the manufacturer never thought they were going to get to. Yeah. So when it gets a head gasket, like, no, we're not no. Like, what are you talking about? We can't freaking, if it's an LS, you could probably slap a head gasket on and call it a day. But anything else is like, and if you want to stand behind it and not have to deal with that conversation in 2 years when the bottom end starts knocking, it's like, you just put an engine in it. You're not going to do that. Yeah. But the point I was making was like, when Miss Jones comes in there and she's got whatever, just for the example of using the Caravan, and she needs head gaskets, 250,000 miles on it, who is that front runner that sits between the tech and the service rider making the call to the client that says, hey, so good news, we found your head gaskets are failing, and it's only going to be $1,800 to repair, and you'll be right as rain.
That's it? $1,800? Is that what you do it for?
I don't know.
I'll start sending them over here. Then that's the
man.
case.
I'm just. Can you not focus on the wrong part of the conversation here?
Sorry.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm losing focus. Sorry.
Okay, Mrs. Jones, it's going to be $2,500. Whatever. Whatever it's going to be to do the damn head gasket job on the vehicle. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. The point I'm getting at. One head gasket, only one side. I guess. Okay, I didn't say that. In my mind, I'm thinking. One side. That's why I didn't.
All right, I get
so
that.
I'm really like, I'm really like making the situation a lot worse than it needs to be. So the tech's like, okay, bank one. Okay, it's got a blown head gasket. I should have started with it. Bank one's got a blown head gasket. Okay, so they tell the service advisor, okay, we found a blown head gasket on bank one. So, okay, client, customer, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we found your issue. Bank one head gasket's blown. It's only going to be $10,500 to do your one head gasket. Does that make you feel better now? Ooh. Is that too much?
That's too much, but okay, I could roll with that.
My point is in that process, there's like red flag city, right? The price, of course, you already stated was, you didn't even let me get to it, but the price for one is already thrown a red flag. And then we got red flags all over the place. This car's got 250,000 miles on it. We're only doing one head gasket. We're doing head gasket in general on this freaking engine with like 250,000 miles on it. Like, who stops that? You know? And it's going to nothing but cause the shop or the facility problems.
Headaches, yep.
guaranteed.
Yep.
But they see that $10,500 job and they're like, sweet, they're going to go for it. And we're going to do it. And everybody gets their cut. But at the end of the day, the car comes back in 2 years under that 3-year warranty with a rod knock.
See, it's funny you bring up that point because I've been through that.
Everybody
has. I had a guy that, service writer. That's all they looked at was the numbers. Never mind everything else.
Right.
Never mind kind of thinking beyond that where, yeah, this car's got 250,000 miles. It's not worth putting doing head gasket on this, to an engine. But for him, it was just the numbers.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, let's do this.
They'll definitely go for the. That's why I use $1,500. So I was using $1,500 as an example because most people are going to go for the $1,500 job. They're not going to go for the $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 engine replacement.
Right.
And so that's the thing. Like that's the sell. That's the easy sell. I can sell that. I can't sell a $10,000 engine replacement.
Right. So even the fact that knowing the fact that it's got high mileage, they still attempt to sell the job.
Right.
When it shouldn't go that route, it should go the other way. Where it's like, you know what? No, this is something you need to recommend an engine.
Right.
So you're right. I mean, whatever's easier for them to do, that's what they're going to go for.
Right.
And that's one of the toughest things to teach to a service writer.
Right.
Is you gotta use common sense, logic when it comes down to stuff like this. I mean, it's not just about the numbers. It's about making sure the job is done correctly and it's not going to come back.
Right.
For the same issue or we did the head gasket, now the engine let go. Now what are you going to do? Right.
Yeah, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
It's yours as the owner.
Wow, exactly.
Yeah.
So now
I think that rolls right back into like the free diag stuff. When you recommend something for free and then it doesn't fix the problem.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem with not charging, because now you're married to the vehicle. You haven't made any money.
For free.
And your responsibility is to fix it.
Yep.
Because you said, and they went and replaced this part and it didn't fix it, but you said it would have. So now you're like obligated.
It's a lose-lose situation here. Well.
Oh, well, that's been fun.
It was.
Yeah. Another good one. I think we went a little over this time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Well.
It just gets easier and easier. Huh?
Just time flies when
you're having fun. Huh?
Having fun and just hanging out with you.
Is this fun for you?
I'm having a blast.
Yeah. The bottle's gone.
But.
That's crazy.
Is that what? Maybe that's what it is, huh? But it's always a pleasure being here. I mean, seems like it's more like it's trying to be more of a regular than anything now.
Yeah, you're turning into regular.
Good so does
stopping by the Gearbox.
Well, does that mean I'm going to be getting paid now?
No, there's no financial compensation for this.
I figured I tried.
I'd say I was sorry, but I'm not. You give for a free diag, so I figured you do this for free.
Oh, okay.
Just use a little bit of your heart.
All right,
a little bit of your heart you were talking about. Just use a little bit of that.
You got me. Okay. All right. I could do that.
I may have to be charging you for the booth time, though, to be honest. So there'll be a bill in the mail.
All right.
I'll put it on your tab. Don't worry about it.
You know what? The bottle was good enough, man. Appreciate that.
I'll just make sure I keep the bar stocked for you.